When I said I was going to pick your sons up, I wasn't lying. Do you have a message to your parents?
Living Bali life, let's get it. I'm a good boy. See you, mate.
See you later.
Well, controversial content creator Bonnie Blue has been detained by police in Bali. The 26-year-old questioned by officers at a police station in Kuta.
So one of the most infamous, notorious adult content creators of probably the past decade, Bonnie Blue was just arrested in Bali and might actually be facing some serious charges, which could include up to 12 years in prison and a $360,000 fine based on laws in the country of Bali that were passed back in 2008. Now, if you've been living under a rock and don't know who Bonnie Blue is, let's just say she was the woman who was behind the 1,000 men and 1 woman challenge, right? They ended up making a documentary about this woman's path that she chose to do this so-called challenge in life, where she decided to be herself, lay on a bed, and 1,000 men were able to, do what they wanted, and they decided to make that into a documentary, and that's essentially her claim to fame. And another thing that she went kind of viral for was getting young adults that in her word of mouth were barely legal out of high school, getting them to be in these adult movie projects with her. And this would ultimately lead her to be arrested in Bali.
Hey boys. Those that are going to Schoolies and to those that are barely legal, cannot wait to meet you, and I'm in Bali, so you know exactly what that means.
Now, to be a little more precise, Schoolies is kind of like an Australian term, which is a tradition of high school graduates celebrating the end of final exams with week-long, often unsupervised holidays, usually in late November, early December. So yeah, I guess that Bonnie Blue's idea of helping these younger folks, right, 18-year-olds, hopefully 18-year-olds, celebrate the end of their high school years is by choosing to be with her on a bus where they do things with her. Again, I'm trying to be very careful in this video because a lot of the words and a lot of the things that she does, YouTube doesn't really like. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets ad limited. Just in case it does, while I'm here, hopefully you guys can subscribe, share the video, like it. I post videos like this all the time, right? So make sure you guys do that just in case YouTube decides to punish me for making a video about this crazy chick. But yeah, this is what she does, right? She creates these essentially very controversial. Some people would describe it as disgusting, right? Like, I don't care if a woman like this decides to create adult content, right? It's not really my concern as long as everyone in the situation's an adult and they're consenting. It is what it is, right? Like, it's funny to laugh at. It's funny to cringe at. It's kind of gross, in my opinion, to, be with that many people at one time that you're, like, not in a relationship with. That's just my opinion, right? We're all allowed to have those. But I think the fact that this is like her one true claim to fame and essentially leads to her now being arrested, it's not a good look, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this might be the actual end of Bonnie Blue. Now, according to the Daily Mail, Bonnie Blue and 14 other Aussie citizens were arrested in Bali after police raided the controversial adult star studio, finding condoms, lube, Viagra, and schoolgirl outfits. Probably gonna have to blur most of those words, but let's just say it's a lot of items that you probably find at like a Diddy party, or a lot of items you would just find, in a use of making these kinds of movies and whatnot, right? Bonnie Blue and more than a dozen Australian men have been arrested in Bali after allegedly making blank material, despite Indonesia's strict morality laws. The British worker and a group of 17 male tourists aged between 19 and 40 from Australia and the UK were taken into police custody on Thursday afternoon following a raid of a studio in Badung. Along with several cameras, police seized 19 outfits labeled School Bonnie Blue, a box of condoms, lubricant, 9 pink necklaces, flash drives, 2 sheets of Viagra pills, some used in her Bang Bus truck, and the ownership certificate. Bonnie, whose real name is Tia Ballinger, had been using the locally purchased single cab utility to travel to party hotspots in Bali for Schoolies Week, documenting the journeys online. Now, where the true trouble comes in, where the true crime comes in, is if these journeys that she decided to record involved, the actual elements that you would find on, let's say, an adult website where you pay her $10, $15 a month to watch and enjoy, I guess. Bali does not allow this. Now, not only is it just not allowed, it's literally illegal in Bali, as they passed a law back in 2008, a bill which would outlaw blank acts and images, broadly defining it as man-made sexual materials in the form of drawings, sketches, illustrations, photographs, text, voice, sound, moving pictures, animation, cartoons, poetry, conversations, and gestures. It also makes illegal public performances which could incite sexual desire. The bill calls for harsh penalties for those in violation of the laws. Anyone caught displaying nudity in public could spend up to 10 years in prison and be fined up to $500,000. Downloading it from the internet could net up to 4 years in prison. So not only did she just choose to go to another country to spread this nonsense, to spread her nasty stuff, right? She went to probably one of the worst countries that she could go to, that literally just downright has made it a crime to produce this content. Again, something that a lot of countries probably just see as like just controversial, stuff that's just a little inhumane, stuff that people are just kind of like, ugh, disgusting, right? Literally illegal, right? Like being even in that place, who she is probably illegal. But she's decided to go there. She's decided to do almost all of this stuff, right? It's a very broad law. It's a very just broad spectrum of what exactly they consider to be the P word there. And I don't think it's going to go very well for Bonnie Blue in this situation. And the part to me that's just very confusing is you would think this woman, I want to say she's like 25, even though she looks 125. She never thought to Google this. Like you would think that going to a country, the first thing you would do is Google laws, especially something like this, right? A lot of countries don't really treat things like this as, let's say, America would. Like here in America, I feel like we're very pro adult worker, pro S worker, even though you have more conservative people who don't like it, and you have more liberal people who are just free this, free that, everybody should be able to do whatever they want. Not a lot of countries share those same ideas, and this is one of those things where, to me, it's just kind of like, you have to be an absolute idiot. Like I can't feel bad for Bonnie Blue because she went to a country and never thought to at least Google what's considered illegal, if what she does for a living is considered a crime and could net her years in prison, right? Like I don't think that you want to spend the next 10 years of your life rotting away in a Bali prison because you just wanted to go to another country and sleep around. I don't think that she should be, right? Like in America, great, come to America and do what you want to do, right? In your own countries, do what you want to do. And I'm pretty sure she even got banned in Australia because of the things that she wanted to do. Because she was going to do the same exact thing. She was going to go to Australia under a visa and go to these schooly things to, lay around with some younger 18-year-olds. And she applied for a standard visitor visa, which prohibits paid work or commercial activity. Her declarations online raised immediate red flags. The Department of Home Affairs reviewed her case and canceled the visa before she could enter the country, noting that her intended activities amounted to conducting business while posing as a tourist. The controversy erupted further when a petition circulated online, gaining thousands of signatures from Australians urging the government to deny her entry. The visa cancellation triggered an automatic re-entry ban, meaning Bonnie is now prevented from visiting Australia for several years unless she is granted a special exemption. So what in her tiny little pea brain was like, hey, you know what, I'm going to go to Bali. I'm not going to even bother Googling if it's actually legal. And then she got arrested for it, right? So if I'm sure they seize her laptop, seize her phone, seize any device that she has and finds that she's been producing this content, although again, not illegal in somewhere like America, somewhere like UK, it's illegal there, and she's going to serve a mighty fine time. Again, this is probably the end of Bonnie Blue, at least for the next 10 years. Now, they ended up releasing 14 of those Australian men without charges, and I'm going to guess that they had some pretty interesting information to share about Bonnie and 3 other British men that were a part of the arrest, as they are still under investigation and being questioned at the Badung police station, and they have not been charged with any offenses yet. The 4 British International stated that they were simply part of a foreign community gathering at the studio. Okay, yeah. The classic old the community gathering trick. Yeah, that's what you got to tell the wife when you're heading to Body Blues parties, right? According to their explanation, they were a group from the same area, and some of them are influencers or content creators. Officers have not provided specific details about what activities took place, as the investigation remains ongoing, Mr. Badubara said. Now, according to this article, it also says that the arrest of Bonnie comes just days after the Bali police had confirmed to the Daily Mail that her bang bus was not legal. So I guess the idea of just the bus in itself having that like obscene gesture on it is enough to be a crime, which again, I showed you, is not a very small crime by any means. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars, even years in prison. So if she's able to, you know, trick her way out of it and be like, oh, bang, as in like punch, you know, it's not what you think it means. I just happen to also be doing that kind of content on the side on this bus. But yeah. According to government documents, the vehicle is registered as being white but has been repainted dark blue, with the respray plainly visible in a recent online post. Daily Mail also revealed on Wednesday that the UTE's vehicle tax expired in 2023. Which all of this stuff can be a fine of up to 500,000 rupee, or about $46, or 2 months in prison. I think I'd rather pay the $45, just saying. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I want to wrap the video up there. I want to know what you guys think about Bonnie Blue's downfall. It's the end of an era, guys. It's time to zip those trousers up and get back to work, clock back into those 9 to 5, because the gooning is over. I don't care. I never liked this woman. I thought that her claim to fame was really disgusting, quite frankly gross. Again, I have nothing against OF girls and S workers. I just think her specifically is not good for society. You have these people trying to break records when it comes to how many like people they can be with in one sitting. Absolutely deplorable stuff in my honest opinion, but I want to know what you guys think. Of course, that's what we're here for. I'm here to provide commentary and cover interesting topics. You guys are here to give me feedback or roast me in the comment section. Either way, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow or in the next one, whenever that may come.